Happy thoughts only. Happy thoughts only. Go.
Pouring some Rosarie Burn, Jason. Oh, you've
Quite
already got
right.
it in your glass.
Quite
Look at
right.
you.
Yeah. And while you're pouring it, I'm gonna let the biggest cat out of the smallest bag.
Go ahead.
When this was being designed, when the labels were being designed,
Yeah.
we were told we could not use the distillery name. Once the labels were produced and on the bottles, we got confirmation we could use the distillery name. So I am going to make no bones whatsoever about telling people that this Rosarie Burn is the water source for the Glentauchers distillery. And the reason that I want Glentauchers out there front and center is because we are gigantic, long-time fans of Glentauchers. And in taking groups, whiskey nerd groups, some may say whiskey geek groups, to Scotland, we would pour Glentauchers day one, night one.
Yeah.
People would fall in love with it. People would go to pour it or request it or purchase it every whiskey bar along the way. So I desperately want people to know this, for a long time love of ours, is the first time Single Cask Nation has bottled a Glentauchers. Not true. Joshua's looking at me like this is not true
Yeah, this
because
is
we
not
did
true.
it in the first retail release we did in
Yeah. Yeah.
2017.
You scared me for a moment. But this is the first time we've bottled a Glentauchers and not called it a Glentauchers.
I was thinking bottled it in sherry. I don't even remember what the 2017 was.
It was in sherry, Jason.
So
Wasn't
this,
it in sherry?
I, d- I don't know. I think I have it just over there. Maybe not.
Yeah,
I
so that was an
Oh, I do
8-year
just have it
in
there.
sherry, and this one obviously 15 years. And this one was 12 years in bourbon, 3 years in first fill Oloroso sherry. Look at you, Jason went away. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Glentauchers.
And you're right. Aged 8 years in a refill Oloroso
Yeah,
Hogshead.
there you go.
So
There you go.
we are continuing the sherry story from the Glentauchers distillery.
Man. So yeah, we continue to talk about Glentauchers.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. So let's talk about this one. Let's talk about the nose on this one. I mean, it's got this like what I love about Glentauchers, and this I think rings true whether it's in bourbon, whether it's in sherry, right? It's always has this like cedar like note coming through, this woody note that comes through, which to me is spirit driven. I don't think it's cask driven. I think it's spirit driven.
Yeah, Glentauchers spirit, given that it is a distillery that I look for, you look for, we look for in the
Mm,
nation, it always has like what would you think? Like the barley is clear to it, but
sure.
then I think like you're saying, there's this kind of warm spice
Yeah.
to Glentauchers spirit, which I think gets amplified in the sherry wood. Like I like Glentauchers and bourbon a lot, but I
Mhm.
also like Glentauchers and sherry because I think it adds to the spice. It adds to how rich the experience can be. Rich actually for this flavometer gets a 6 out of 10. So not a rich that's busting down the doors, but a rich that is in concert with spicy.
Yeah. And one thing I'd like to point out too, the floral gets a 3 on this one. And I
Mm-hmm.
seem to remember the floral note on this comes through on the palate, right? That's where it seems to really take shape.
Yeah, I definitely get a big red chewing gum that comes in on the nose,
Okay.
continues through the palate, but gets softer, richer, warmer as it goes across the palate. The other thing that I want to make clear in our first couple of releases in 2025 is we've gone big on the alcohol. The nation is not afraid of going into the 60s
Oh,
And this Glentauchers comes in at 62.6.
mm.
Nice, big hitting strength to that.
Oh, well, I'll tell you personally, as a 51-year-old man, I'm a little scared to go into my 60s. That's a different story. But tasting notes, I mean, this is pipe tobacco. This is like dried cherries, dried cranberries that you'd put into your morning yogurt, right? Or you'd put into granola. This is actually granola bits right. This is dates. There's
Toasted walnuts.
Yeah. Oh, the finish just keeps on going as well. The
Well,
cedar comes back.
and it has
Mm,
such good age on it as well, right? 12 years in the bourbon, 3 years in the Oloroso Hoggy for a 15-year-old at the time of bottling. It's, you know, we don't tend to do a lot with age in the nation. We really do like the 8, the 9, the 10,
yeah,
the
right.
11, the 12, maybe 13. And here's a little 15-year-old coming out from Glentauchers via Rosarie Burn.
Right.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
I just
Yeah,
I
cocoa powder in the finish.
yeah. I love, I remember you years back taking that group out to Scotland. You mentioned it, on the outset that you latched onto Glentauchers and you
Mhm.
became this champion of Glentauchers.
Yeah,
And it's
they
just
did. Yeah, they took it
right.
on.
And it's just so obvious why. The beauty of their spirit, I think, is undeniable. It's a make that we continue to seek out. It's not always easy to find, but when
The
you
thing I would
find it,
add, the
yeah,
thing I
go
would
ahead.
add on as you're talking spirit here is I think about the Thrusk that we put into the nation online.
You're right. Yep.
And I talked about that having kind of an old school quality to it. And I think once the nation started getting that,
Mm,
opening it, tasting it, sharing it, I
mhm,
think they started to see what we were getting at
mm,
there.
mhm.
This Rosarie Burn, this Glentauchers, for me has that kind of older style to it. Once again, I'm
Yeah.
thinking about being in Aberdeen at Aberdeen University in the late 90s,
Mhm.
thinking about those whiskies we were tasting in that era.
Yeah.
This is redolent of that experience.
Yeah.
I'm really taken by that.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, all right, here you talk about the whiskey groups that get to go to Scotland and fall in love. On the label here, we've got this distillery located near the blink and you miss it hamlet of, join me, Maggie
Maggie
Knocketa
Knockenta!
is a long-time favourite of ours, and this example shows why. Warm spices mingle with dried fruits, while notes of incense and cigars elevate the drinking experience. Unmissable, and I would also add unmistakable.
Unmistakable. Yeah, right? It's got a spirit style all
Oh,
its own, right?
yeah.
Which I think, it this distillery doesn't have a bottling all its own. You only find it through independent bottlers. It's a malt made for blends because it has a style all its own, right? It is
Mhm.
a base malt for blends. It has its own character. There's a reason we seek it out because it has its own character. Go on. Oh,
No,
you
I'm
had something there.
just as I'm returning to it, some of the
Yeah,
sweetness is starting to present
yeah,
itself.
yeah.
I
I like
think the
that.
richness and the spice
Hmm.
has been present in the first
Hmm.
go through.
Hmm.
As I'm returning to it, there's something nice and warm and syrup like
Yeah. Yep.
to it as well. Yeah,
Yep.
all around
Yeah.
delicious, right? It's a
Yep.
distillery. It's very hard to go wrong with. I know the groups who have gone to Scotland with us, the groups that we've been in whiskey bars with in Scotland, the groups with whom we've driven through Maggie Knocketer late at night,
Okay, knock it down.
will go crazy for this release.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
what are we talking? One of 241 bottles here.
Yeah, one of 241 bottles, $145 for a 15-year-old. Remember, we always talk. We like to get around $10 per year. For Scotch whiskeys at 10 years and up, we try to target that $10 per year or less whenever we can. So $145 for a 15-year-old.
Tasteful.
Anything else we should be mentioning, Jason?
And for those of you paying attention at home, We are recording this April 11 before Passover begins. We
Correct.
have respected kosher for Passover rules, laws,
Always.
stipulations, and we wanted to get this one on wax before Passover begins. So
Correct.
this will come out when, Joshua?
Yeah, so this will be released on Wednesday, April 23rd. We normally release our whiskeys on Thursdays, but this time around it's going to be on a Wednesday, April 23rd. So watch out for that one. 12 noon Eastern.
Perfect. Yeah, go look for it. It's an absolute doozy.
All
Slange and
right.
Lakai.
Slange and L'chaim.